importation for 15 years and went into production 5 years ago, and today 90% of the products we manufacture are sold locally and only 5% we import. So it is possible to do that. And also the last thing is that we do run a lot of programs for training of fundis. We just want to work with the Ministry of Education to ensure that these programs are recognized so that the fundis that we have trained, and my company has trained over 5,000, that these are accredited and that these fundis can be consumed by the National Construction Authority, so that then as they are forming their cooperatives, that they are able to get funding from sectors like UN Habitat that has money for fundis, so that they can now run companies or small little businesses that will be able to build into the value chain. And I would be failing my profession as an architect to say this, Your Excellency, that we look forward to our contribution as professions in the built environment as an architect to contributing directly into bringing sanity into the construction sector. We are working on an act that's going to put together a lot of structure to our sector, so that then we can ensure from an architectural point of view we are designing the right products that are consuming made in Kenya products, and that ultimately we will see the houses that you want desired. Your Excellency, as a sector, we are very excited to have 9 billion shillings poured into our sector. We are ready to run. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because of interest of time, we've really talked about edible oils and pyrethrum, so I may not call them right now. But let me finish with pharmaceuticals, and I'll just call Dr. Vimal Patel just to very quickly say, what are the needs? You've heard about saline water. What do you need to be able to do that in Kirinyaga, at the coast, and everywhere else?
Thank you, Carol, Your Excellency, and all protocols observed. So I'm coming not in numbers as employees. I'm looking at the security of Kenya. Where I talk about security, I'm talking about when we had COVID. During COVID time, there was a drug called azithromycin, which was first choice thing. Luckily, we had the raw materials. We supplied Kenya. And we supplied in a short time, which then tells you a story. It tells you that manufacturing here is, if we want to grow, I know you're passionate about pharmaceuticals. I've seen everywhere you mentioned it. If you want to grow, exempt. Everybody thinks exempt means zero VAT, but it doesn't. It means that for me, if I put up a factory, I put a claim back. An importer does not have that kind of claim back. So I think we need to change the policy. The second thing we need to do is that Kenya is the hub of East Africa. But what is saddening, because our policies don't support us manufacturers, people like Uganda, the number of factories are coming higher. I think we should not waste this opportunity. And I can tell you, once we do this, you will see API plant coming up in Africa. I know you're passionate about that as well, but it won't come without these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me hand it over next to Eric.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you've heard from the private sector and what the private sector has said this afternoon. Well, there's been a bit of talking about what the private sector would like to see, what the private sector would want to get from government, from the national government and from the county governments. And Excellencies Governors, you've also heard this, but also you've heard the private sector speaking enthusiastically about the entire program and saying that they are on board and committed to the value chain approach and how the value chains then can support the economy to grow. Now, I'd like to give the opportunity to you, Governor Waiguru. You've heard what the private sector are saying, in terms of they just need to engage with governors to see where the opportunities are per county, like you've said. It's per county, engaging with the governors per county, and responding to some of the needs that they've raised here. How would you make sure that what you've had today is actualized in terms of moving forward a conversation into action?
I think as I respond to this, I just want to warn my colleague that I will give him an opportunity to just add to what it is that I'm going to say, Governor Lusaka. On the issue of what it is that the counties need to do, I've had a few statements that have been made. Some, I think one of them was a bit blanket on there's no extension services in the counties. I think what we may need to do is maybe enhance the visibility of our extension services to ensure that we're providing the quality that the private sector is looking for. And I think for us to be able to provide the quality of, let's say, the produce, we need to engage with the private sector for them